Hi, my name is Russ, and I'm excited to have us dive into our next technical configuration video. If you're looking to learn how do I configure Hotspot 2.0, also called Passpoint, this is your video. This video here is going to focus on how to configure Edgecore, a company owned by Acton. You may see it powered by IgniteNet. Don't let all that confuse you. We're basically going to be talking about Edgecore here. So if you're using the standard Edgecore controller, this is your video to see how do you get Wi-Fi roaming up and running. We're going to dive into this here. This is really exciting. Can't wait to show you how this all works. So you're going to log in here. I've got here just a demo site. Make sure you're in your site config. Next, you're going to make sure that you select Wi-Fi 6 and newer. This only works on Wi-Fi 6 and newer devices. Sorry, Wi-Fi 5 does not work on Edgecore. You're going to have to upgrade to something new. That's okay. Edgecore is a pretty affordable solution out there. So we're going to jump in here. First thing we're going to do, configure open roaming. It's the most important part. So I know it's open roaming and we're talking about Hotspot 2.0. This is just how they refer to it. You'll see here Passpoint Hotspot 2.0. All right, let's dive into these settings. So next, internet access. Make sure it's turned on. It's going to be access network, chargeable public network, HESSID, all Fs. Venue group, business. Venue type, unspecified. Network auth type, acceptance of terms and conditions. They don't have none in here, so that's what we use. IPv4 address type, port restricted IPv4, address available. It's your most standard type. Again, configure what's most relevant for your network. IPv6, generally not available. Select that. Operating class 5173. Make sure Captive Portal is turned off. Going into venue name, English language code, venue name, just Wi-Fi. Put WayFiWireless.com in there. For your cellular network, your PLMNs, also called your MCC, MNCs. We've got our standard list here. Work with your onboarding engineer. They likely will have some additional networks to add to this list. This will get you up and running. This helps advertise the carriers that are going to jump onto this service automatically. Operator friendly name. It's going to be language code English. Operator's name, WayFi Wireless. Your RCOI, roaming consortium list. Make sure it is in this exact order. That is very, very important. I'm not going to go through every one, but here's where we configure it and put that list in. Make sure it matches this exactly. Next to your domain name list, this is going to have a list of your domain names all set up here. Order is not as important, but it is important to make sure that you got all of them. And then at the last, your NAI realm list. There you go. That's the first part of your config. Congratulations. This is probably the hardest part. Next, we're going to jump into the wireless SSID. For wireless SSID here, we're going to use our standard one, which is period Wi-Fi cellular booster. Why we put the period in there? It's a little hack that lets you get up there first in the list. They do connect automatically, and of course, when they connect, they do see the carrier underneath the actual SSID name, and you can change it. Now, this is pretty easy to change here. I'll just show you where you edit it. It's pretty straightforward. So make sure that it is enabled. It is broadcast. You've client isolation turned on. Multicast to unicast conversion, we're going to turn that off here. Max client count, we're a little lower here. We're at 127. Again, do what you feel is best. This is our standard recommendation. Activate radios 2.4 and 5. You can activate 6 as well. For method, we're going to use WPA2, obviously for 2.4 and 5. AES. Objective management frames are disabled here. Radius MAC authentication, we are going to disable it. Use radius authentication is enabled. Now, a quick note here, you're going to see enable RADSEC. In general, we always recommend RADSEC. However, there are some issues with how this currently operates on Edgecore. Probably put out a new video if that gets fixed, but right now RADSEC cannot be used, so we're going to stick with Radius, unfortunately. So a little bit of a downgrade there. You got your server, you got your port, your secret, of course your standard NAS ID. Work with your onboarding engineer to set yours. That's going to be globally unique. For your backup, what most OEMs call their secondary, also put that info in as well. Same for your accounting. That's going to be one port up. With all your standard information, make sure that your accounting interim interval is set to 300. Access control is turned off, but do enable 802.11r, K, and V. Turn off dynamic authorization. Now for your network, put this on your guest network. We're going to dive in that a little deeper here to isolate this off. In general, you're going to treat all this offload traffic as guest network traffic. We don't limit the upload rate or download rate. You can if you wish. Make sure you are using open roaming and choose the open roaming profile that we just configured. Congrats. All right, we've got that up and running. Next, we're going to go into our radio settings here. So band steering turned on, RF isolation turned on, airtime fairness turned on, SSID isolation turned on. We're going to disable radio resource management. Now for 6 gigahertz, generally what we're going to do here is select the highest bandwidth available because it's fairly short range, 160 megahertz. Otherwise, it's pretty standard config settings here. I'm going to breeze through some of these, just kind of give you the highlights. For 5 gigahertz, we're going to go a little bigger. We're going to go at 40 megahertz. And then for 2.4, we're going to go with the smallest 20 megahertz. That's usually going to give you the most range. A lot of clients like the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum, although there tends to be a lot of traffic on those channels. All right, that dives in here. We're going to skip over general networking. Nothing too interesting here, but just set up your standard configs in this section for DHCP, etc. Now, local networks. So mostly it's going to be default settings. Just to the recent Cloudflare outage, we did put quad 1s on the bottom. Leave it the order that you like. What is important here is for your guest network. Remember that we set up your guest network is where this offload traffic is going to go to. So the main key setting here that I'm going to get into is your smart isolation. Make sure that is set as internet only strict. You don't want these phones talking to each other, or cars, or laptops, or iPads. Let's keep them off. Just talking to the internet, that's all they need. So already got our interface members here for 2.4 and 5. For your lease time, make this as short as possible. I recommend 5 minutes. You can do longer if you like, but that is our standard configuration. Firewall, nothing interesting here. Just skip over that. Hotspot, we're not going to use these settings. System settings here. There's not too much to say here. Probably just turn off Telnet if that is turned on by default. It's kind of just a general recommendation. Otherwise, with that, your SSID is up and running, and you should have clients jumping on. So again, this is how to configure Edgecore for Wi-Fi roaming using Hotspot 2.0, also called Passpoint technology. So as I always say, make it easy, make it simple, make it WayFi. It's been a pleasure having you on the call, and look forward to onboarding you soon.